Cannot hear you.
Oh, welcome to Crossroads Sports Radio, episode number 320. We have technical issues this evening. I'm taking the hat off because it's messing it up. Technical issues this evening with Blog Talk Radio, so we can't have our freaking show on there with our call-in. We had a guest this evening lined up. It was going to be perfect with the way things are going. We can't get her on there. We can't get her on StreamYard because of their server maintenance issues, just technical issues everywhere. John would call it the woke community trying to get us. He must have said something about ESPN or something. But me and John are released on here tonight. We'll give you a show for about an hour or so. We'll kind of talk things NFL, college football. We'll get our guest back on a scheduled date, and we'll kind of go that route. John, outside of all that, how have you been?
Oh, I can't complain, man. Other than the traffic in Indianapolis, I will complain about that. I know we're supposed to be a non-political show, but we got to, get these numbers up. Like, nah, man. Other than the traffic in Indianapolis, hell, they shut down the I-65 section of it, a couple of days ago or yesterday or something, and now the Swifties are coming in. How you going to get all that traffic? It's in Indianapolis, city of Indianapolis. Like, man, Brandon, we ain't signed, ain't nobody got us no favors over there, you know. And we, like I said, we are non-political show, a political show. Like, there's no, what I mean. So, like, what's going on with construction? It's horrible. 38th Street, horrible.
Yeah, I'm not
highway shut down, horrible. Construction everywhere. That's all I got to say about that. Other than that, man, I'm,
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to those days at work. Those are gonna be like 16-hour shifts for me, at least for when T Swizzle comes to town. And she's up on the side of the JW right now, so they got her up there. I do want to say, I know we were upset about the show and the issues with technical difficulties we're having and all.
Right.
And I know those are little things because in the big world, I got some news today that a former coworker of mine passed away. I've been very, very John Kramer. I was very close to John. I actually just talked to him recently, a couple days ago, and I know he was gearing up for the Monumental Marathon that's coming up in 26 days or so for now down in Indianapolis. But I do want to dedicate this show to John Kramer, young, very young guy, should running the marathon. He's gotten his health back in shape. Thoughts and prayers to him and his family. I got that news early this morning, and it gutted me. So, prayers for that. But I know in a big world of things, this technical difficulties issues, it doesn't mean as much compared to those things. So, just wanted to say that for tonight's show. John, I want to dive in. Let's talk NFL. Let's talk Colts. Colts win 20-17. John Richardson was out again. Taylor was out. Pittman was going to go on IR. He ended up playing. Colts get the dub in Tennessee.
It's a miracle, man. And Jonathan Taylor didn't play. And, their quarterback prospect did play. We know the defensive hits that they've taken throughout the season. Gritted out a victory, man. They needed a victory. I mean, the NFL is not a let's see what you can do potential. Let's see what we got in Jonathan Wiseman. Pace, you know what I'm saying? The NFL said we got to win it today. So, for whatever reasons, man, the specter of, like the coach ain't gonna ever be openly honest with you about anybody's injury, because how can Pittman go from he's gonna be out on IR to playing and catching touchdowns? You know what I'm saying? I thought that was kind of ironic, man. I really did. But you know what I'm saying? They tried out, for lack of a better term, they tried out the old man. And he won a game for him, man. Hell, if they lost to Brandon, I knew Gus Brown was gonna be fired. I know it's very uncoat like very Jim Irsay like, but like, man, if they had lost that game, I was just like, man, Gus Bradley's gone. But no, man, it's a game they needed to win. As far as like what you have to, from a one-loss record to keep pace with other teams in your division. You know what I'm saying? You lose to Will Levis, who, oh my goodness, unfortunately is god awful. You know what I'm saying? That's the best way you can put QB. I know that's not an official QBR rating, god awful. It's not, but it is, and he's god awful. And he's not necessarily supported in any regard either. So, since the game, you got to win, and the coach did. So you take that, you know what I'm saying, and you use much positive. They have to use as much positive analytics they can from that, so that when they do get their, their war horses, those guys that they depend upon back, like, it'll kind of hopefully be everything that kind of come together for them. Again, not necessarily still, we don't necessarily still see, deep playoff team. Could the Colts get hot if they get injury free? That remains to be seen. But again, you got out of town with a victory.
Yeah, they got the dub. Those are games you got to win. Defense kind of missing pieces there and all, but Flacco kind of threw some bad interceptions there, but they ended up winning a division game, a one that you should win, and it was good to see them get that win. They're back home this week, John. They take on the Miami Dolphins. Spread was currently -3.5. Snoop Huntley is going to be the quarterback for Miami again this week. HN may not be back at the or the running back position.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, you feel like the Colts got to get another win at home this week against Miami. No questions asked. If you believe yourself as a playoff team, Richardson says they said he's going to play this week. I thought they came out pretty quick on that this time. But you got to get this dub this week.
Yeah, Miami has no identity. They were, it's a dog and pony show with them. Once their quarterback went down, they didn't have anything else to rest their laurels on. They don't have to, whatever high paid ride out, whatever high paid running back they have, whatever high paid, is kind of like for that, they're looking at the same tape me and you are in Texas this weekend. Looking at the quarterback play. See if they can meld that into their program somehow in the next 2 seasons. But man, yeah, it should be a game that you got to take care of business. We've seen a lot of, again, man, Jonathan Taylor, if he does play as well, that adds another, weapon they can roll out there. But again, all eyes going to be on the quarterback position. We know this, Brandon, and not being a turnover machine. That's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, exactly. Before I go to the other games, John, I want you to be able to cut this and save it for next offseason for the NFL to say you're right.
Oh, no, man.
So Tom Brady was approved to be minority owner of the Raiders.
Yeah.
It got approved. He's out there in Vegas now. They just traded Devontae Adams to the Jets, which we'll talk that here shortly.
Mm-hmm.
They're still looking for a quarterback there. Antonio Pierce was elevated to the head coaching position. I'm going to tell you now, and I haven't seen it anywhere else, and I want to be the first to say it. Tom Brady coming in as ownership of the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
One of Tom Brady's first things to do after this season is over is he is going to engage with Bill Belichick and say, Bill, do you want to come out here and be our head coach?
Vegas?
And they will get rid of Antonio Pierce, and Bill Belichick next season will be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders.
They got lines.
Cut this tape and play it back. This is Wednesday, October something. Give me 1 second, John. Keep talking. I got to take a quick call.
No, it's October 16th. Brandon Reed thinks that Bill Belichick is going, somehow, have discussions, become the coach of the Los Angeles. No, it ain't Los Angeles, Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know, man. I think Bill Belichick, they got eyes on Bill Belichick in Philadelphia, especially after Sirianni and, what he did, going against the fandom. Nah, man, it's going to be Bill Belichick in Philly before I see Bill Belichick with the Raiders. But, hey, I'll tell once Brandon kind of comes back on here, he took a phone call or whatever, we'll be back to talking about it and whatnot. But, no, man. This has been some show tonight. Let me tell you something. Blog Talk failed us. Technically, StreamYard has failed us. We can't bring a third person in. It is what it is, friends. So we might have to cancel the show entirely. We couldn't even get through the Colts. We couldn't get through the first daggone segment. So 10 minutes rolling, yeah.
All right, I'm back. A lot going on here. Okay. No, go ahead. Mark the words. Tom Brady will be the head coach, or we'll have Bill Belichick come, and he will be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders next season. And I haven't seen anywhere else. I think it makes smart sense with Brady coming in and what he can do.
I don't know, man. I got an alternate theory, man. After Nick Sirianni tirade, and clearly his team don't like him, the fans don't like him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? My friend might stay east. You know what I'm saying? And be coaching with Philadelphia next year. There is that those rumblings as well.
Yeah, that's a good possibility as well there. How about my man? And I'm going to play the audio real quick because I still have it. Your boy went nuclear this week on his weekly radio show or radio spot. So let me get a little play real quick.
Listen, let me tell you what I'll do. Let me tell you what I'll do about it. I will let us sit down and look at the decisions we've made over the last several years. Okay? I'll look at it. Now, if you think I'm interested on a damn phone call with you over a radio and sitting here and throwing all the good out with the dishwater, you have got to be smoking something over there this morning. I'm not. And I really don't, and I don't even want our listeners to listen to me, to talk about this is not your job. Your job isn't to let me go over all
it kind of is your job.
That I did something, and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
Well,
my job is to ask why. Job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you.
Oh,
you're not going to figure out what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, or any 5 or 10 like you, you need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
Jerry,
okay. You don't really think you're going to sit here with a microphone and tell me all of the things that I've done wrong?
Jerry went nuclear, John.
Hey, man, that's what Jerry don't understand. I get it that you're a billionaire. I get it that you're responsible for Jerry World. I get it that you have say. But like, man, ain't like they kind of chilled out because I'd have been like, nah, man, nah. Because like, as soon as he said you'll find somebody else, I'd be like, then you'll be paying me too because dude, you can't just fire nobody because they critical of your team because of the moves y'all made.
Yep.
And the playmakers that you signed and they aren't making plays. So it's one thing, Jerry. It's one thing you can cut. We can send it down there in Texas. They don't love us down there either. Anyway, they think we love the Sooners. They think that's all your picks, right? But like, no, man. If anything, like we should be more critical. You don't get blown out. The Detroit Lions blew them out on purpose. And for you to score 9 points, you didn't score a touchdown. You didn't even get you didn't even make it honest. You know. No. If you kind of go back to some of they got a lot of bad tape. I get it. They beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, you know what I mean, in a game that they had to win. Otherwise, we would have had this conversation, you know what I'm saying, a game prior, you know what I mean. But like, nah, man, Jerry, for a team that has championship aspirations year over year, And quarterback, they and McCarthy guaranteeing a 13 game, 12 games. Like your team is imploding, and it's not all. It's not on pace. When you look at the Ravens, they had a lot of trepidation early on in the season. We remember that it's kind of like all behind them. Now that they one of those hottest teams, ascending in not only their division but the entire league, right?
Right.
And there's no sizzle like that with the Cowboys whatsoever. Yes, that got paid, and I'm not being facetious. Yes, that got paid. Yes, the wide receiver got paid. The coach still out here hanging out to dry, and they might have, the Detroit Lions might have ran a Statue of Liberty. I don't know. They ran how many trick plays? You know what I'm saying, against them, man. That's professional. You know what I'm saying, what they did to them. But again, the Dallas Cowboys do not look like world beaters. The Dallas Cowboys, they do not look like they're going to the Super Bowl, and they don't look like they're going to the daggone playoffs. So Jerry, man, that would have been my pushback, man. You can find somebody else, but you're gonna have to pay me too.
Yeah. Crazy. Steelers beat the Raiders 32, an offensive explosion, you can call it, from the Pittsburgh Steelers. First time over 30 points in a long time. Justin Fields accounted for 3 touchdowns,
Right.
2 rushing and a passing.
Oh, he caught the late on the game, yeah.
Yeah. But TJ Watt had just a turnover machine there. So Pittsburgh got that right. George Pickens still an effing no-show, dropping passes, dropping a touchdown to try to please him. Then he goes on some dumbass media tour this week, and he gets fined. I don't know why I got fined for my eye black. What? I didn't say. Oh, I didn't say anything. Okay, sure. So you have that thing, and then to top it off, this week they play the Jets and the newly acquainted Davante Adams, who, if you don't put a bet on Davante Adams to have 75 yards at least and a touchdown against the Steelers this week, you're dumb. Get it while you can. I've taken it because he's going to do it. Rodgers will throw him a touchdown this week, guaranteed. But Tomlin comes out in his press conference and says Justin Fields 4-2, and he's played all right. There was a couple issues this past weekend where a roughing the passer penalty luckily was called, and they were able to make up a touchdown from interception on it. But he says if Russ is good, Russ is going to get a shot, and Russ Wilson's getting first team reps this week. Russ got first team reps today. Tomlin's holding it to the vest of what they're going to do. There is a story that came out that there are a lot of people right now in the Steelers front office that feel like Russell Wilson would limit them on offense in a way that Justin Fields does not, which is why there's a big part of the reason why so many people wish Tomlin would stick with Fields. So there are rumblings that the organization is frustrated with Tomlin picking Russell Wilson over Fields for this week. Here's my thought, and I've went back and forth on it. I love having both guys on the team. I think Justin's done a good job. He needs to continue to grow. I think Justin's done, and he's came in as the number 2. He's been the backup the entire time. It hasn't changed on the depth chart. Russ was named the starter. Russ, quote, wasn't healthy, whether he was or was he not. But Justin, you came in, you did your job. Boom. We're going back to the bench, but you are our future. Russ Wilson is not the future for the Steelers. Justin Wilson has more of that future if he can stay in it mentally, going back to the bench right now. And to know, hey, maybe Tomlin and then we'll have a quick trigger. If it ain't pulling for Russ Wilson out there, then guess what? Justin, you're back in. Justin has accuracy issues and some throwing issues that Russ does well. Granted, Russ Wilson threw 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions last year for a head coach that hated him. He was able to make plays last year up in Buffalo that you couldn't make anywhere else. Can you see me still, John, or am I cutting out?
No, I got you.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he was making plays. So not saying that Russ is just going to be a soldier there, because no, Russ can run around. He can make plays. He's got the arm. He can make the passes. He did it last year. 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Fields needs to work on that. I'm okay if you give Russ the ball here to see if it'll jumpstart the offense even a little bit more with the passing game it can get that clicking to open it up more for Najee. Because right now you're getting 7, 8, 9 guys in the box against Najee, and it's just not working until this past week. So if you get that, hey, and tell Justin, hey, Justin, be ready because you don't know when we might need you. I think Fields will get maybe 1 or 2 series this week, even possibly.
Yeah, I don't know if that necessarily looking like that. And you might double check, man. Fields did not throw for one this past week. He had 2 rushing ones.
Okay.
But he didn't throw for one. I double check that. What he's been doing is kind of exceptional, but like from the saying what the current NFL wants your quarterback to do, throw it, that way. I guess kind of announcing this, Brandon kind of says, hey man, Pickens, we kind of going to back you. He hasn't been involved in any type of let's cut him, let's trade him. I know fandom has kind of been on his ass about being a hot dog or being a glory glory hound, right? But like, man, they got to unlock that if they want to. If they really do, I told you, in episodes before, man, like hovering around 20-something points a game is not going to cut it in these NFL waters if you want to be taken seriously. So, I really don't think Justin Fields, unless he starts becoming a fumble machine. He's only got 1 interception to his name, right now. Right, what was that Colts game? Right, he's only got 1 interception to his name. The problem is like all his touchdowns, which is the total of 5, is off. Coming from him in rushing. So, they kind of got to look at it. They kind of had the analytics are kind of going against him. But like, if it's not affecting winning, then you're gonna have to say the hell with the analytics. You know what I'm saying?
Right, you're 4-2.
Yeah. So that's what I kind of look at it like.
So if you're Mike Tomlin, what would you do?
That QBR is killing him, man. So Justin Fields' QBR is probably hovering around in the 50s, man. And again, you got to keep everybody happy. The defense is not going to stay 100. They're playing lights out. That's not going to. Is that a really sustainable? You know what I'm saying? Something that that we can depend upon. So, Brandon, unless Justin Fields really stinks it up in a game, I'll stick with Fields.
Okay. Hey, I just saw this. I want to know your thoughts. Putting it on the screen right now. Did you have an old NBA starter jacket pullover from back in the day?
Oh, absolutely.
Apparently, they're coming back October 22nd.
No, they ain't coming back.
They just released it. Starter just released it. It's coming back October 22nd for your team.
The world ain't ready for that.
Pullover jacket, half zip collar, adjustable hood, kangaroo pocket. I love that pocket in there. You just flip open that pouch.
They got ridiculous. I had one of the original Bulls. Because my mom was on it, bro.
Yeah.
I had the Bulls starter jacket. Probably one. There was two people in my whole high school had it. Me and this girl. She had the black one. I had the red one. And then, and I'm talking about when it first came out. And then everybody just kind of boiled over.
Yeah.
The best one everybody wanted was the Charlotte Hornets.
Oh yeah, right there in the middle of that screen, right there. There's a Charlotte Hornets one that looks pretty solid. I definitely got to get a Pacers one. I'll rock it still. I'll rock it this winter to the games. Let me find something real quick because I think I have it in my closet, and I got to see what your thoughts are on this. It is retro. Speaking of retro jackets and stuff, let me see if we can find this real quick. This is not
all right.
Tonight.
Brandon is looking. Brandon's going deep sea diving in his closet, y'all. Looking for old school. We're gonna see what he got. We're talking football. Boring your heads off tonight. Nah.
Well, the bad news is, John, I can't find it.
Oh man,
it's somewhere. But what it is, it's actually downstairs in the closet. I know where it's at.
Okay.
Where they have it at. But it's a Michael Jordan Bulls jacket. Vintage Jordan jacket.
Okay.
That puppy is worth some. I had a Bulls and a Pacers starter jacket back in the day.
Michael Jordan was bad, man. For real.
He was. Bears, Caleb Williams. Great game against the Jags. The Jags, Doug Peterson may have to find his own transportation back from London this week.
What in the hell? How you go to the NFL you can't. No, this is bad. That's just bad. That's just bad broadcast. This is bad marketing. That's just bad overall, man. They get on an airplane, not in front. So you sacrifice and I get it, man. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they fandom is waning. You know what I'm saying? But you sacrifice a home game every year.
2 this year, back-to-back weeks.
Right. This year, and you get blasted by the rookie. And I get it, man. He's ascending. There's been some conversation. We had it a couple shows ago. Caleb Williams definitely should be in rookie, offensive rookie, conversation of the year conversation. Also, Jaden Daniels, also Marvin Harrison. But they made him look like a Pro Bowler. He had been on somewhat of a struggle bus, and then he found, the Jacksonville Jaguars defense and threw 4 touchdowns, zipped them. Good night. It was over.
Yep.
Tell Prince Charles come out there and give a curtsy.
It's
at the game.
Yeah, that'll be.
I think Beckham was at the game.
Raiders traded Devontae, as we mentioned. John back with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets.
Oh,
Um,
they need something. The Jets need something. They can't
fire their coach.
Well, we all knew that was going to happen. Hell, the coach is still there.
Right. So, Amari Cooper traded from the Bills to the Bills from the Browns. Deshaun Watson ain't working, John. It's over. It's a wrap. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Browns fans are pissed.
Yeah, it's about to be wholesale, man. Myles Garrett. If you think that's going to be a for real thing that he could be traded somewhere?
No. I don't think unless he wants to. I don't think he does.
Wants to, right? Unless he wants to.
I don't think he will. I don't think Miles is that type of guy. But man, dude, you just got to rip the Band-Aid off. So Stefanski is going to lose his job over keeping Deshaun Watson as the quarterback.
If he was if it was his decision and the general managers, then they kind of tied to him, I would think.
Well, they are. The GM is, especially with that contract. So Jimmy Haslam can't be. Justin Powell asked, can the Colts hire Robert Saleh?
After this season, sure.
As their defensive coordinator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After this season, for sure.
Yep, for sure. NFL wise, I don't have too much. Steelers and Jets this Sunday night football.
Brandon, you said it. You said it in the group text, man. I'm just gonna spoil everybody, man. It's not that the NFL is boring. There's a lot of drama going on in the NFL right now. There's a lot of teams that's, with stakes in the game early. But the sizzle is in college football. The sizzle is in college football, whether it's on Saturday. The hell they had football on last night.
Yeah, the parity in the league this year.
It's parody. I always question parody. You know what I'm saying? Is it real? Is it true? Could could this team over? If you push this team over here, what would they do? But no, it is true. It's here. When I look up, because Brandon, and listen, I know I'm not shilling for IU or anything like that, man. I'm just, it's just convenient, man. IU is having to be 6-0 college football team. I know people are even here are super critical and not believing in it, but at this point, 6 games in, you are what you are on tape. You know what I'm saying? You've beaten who you're supposed to beat, whether it was Northwestern, Maryland, Western, Illinois, whoever it is, man. IU can run the ball. I got a quarterback that can deliver. They have a running back, again, and they got like I said, they get good push. Offensively, they good push. Defensively, they kind of scheme it up, and they keep everything honest. I would say they're a little average, but offensively, they can kind of play with anybody. And that's not saying bring on Georgia, okay? Pump the brake. Offensively,
the Indianapolis Star needs to pump the brakes on the Hoosiers.
Well, you start to sound like the homie Danny Bridges. You know what I'm saying?
That's one thing I agree with Danny on.
Well, here's the thing.
Who the hell they played? The blind deaf?
Wait a minute, Brandon. On episode 319, 318, you was all in on Ole Miss, and they hadn't played anybody. But then we had to pull the tape. They played Furman. You can't.
They've earned that to have that recognition. The Hoosiers have not. You're a fizzle team.
We in college football landscape. What you did last year don't account for DeBoer. Okay, Alabama. What you did last year, and he went 7. He went to the national championship game. They ready to fire him because he lost to freaking Vandy.
Yeah.
So what you did last year in this college football, I'm just saying. Brandon, I'll eat the goat too. Tennessee, Like I told you, they was better than Ole Miss. I think they are. And out the gate, they was giving MAC schools. Here's this 70 piece. You know what I'm saying? They was giving this other team, here's this 40 piece, right? And then you get in conference play and you play like you know what I'm saying? You play like toast, underachieve. No, man. So I'm not saying Ole Miss and you know what I'm saying and Tennessee aren't any good. And anybody you know what I'm saying, imagination. I'm just saying, like if those two particular teams were at the same point, 6-0, just like IU, everybody have been in the top 10. Based on Brandon, based on their history. But hell, they ain't play nobody either. Quote unquote. I'm not saying Maryland is not a nobody though. I'm not saying UCLA, UCLA just like USC, they are adjusted to the big.
Here's my thing.
Go ahead.
If you want to be known as a true contender, because here, guess what, IU?
Got to play who's your schedule.
You are 1 or 2 weeks away from not having myself or Jonathan or somebody else, well, like me, but like people talking about your schedule. But you're going to start getting all the SEC people starting to look at your schedule, being like, what the hell are you doing ranked ahead of us when you haven't played anybody? Because here's the thing. I understand you're in a rebuild, and that's fine. That's great.
Yep.
But yeah, it's you're sugarcoating a little bit of what you really truly have out there, because I just looked at the 2025 Hoosier schedule. Have you looked at it?
No, we got to talk about this schedule.
I will, but here's the 25. This is who they start out with, John. Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State. That's their non-conference schedule.
Love it. Should zip everybody. But hold on, Brandon. We can't be doing no goalposts. I know this is football. We can't be doing no goalpost moving, because when Nebraska, this a couple weeks ago, played Colorado, it was a big time game. Both of those teams were ranked. It was
a big game.
You know what I'm saying? So Nebraska is still a big time game.
100%.
Bad rule ain't no fool. Not to that, you know what I'm saying? He gonna come with. He's not here.
I think this is gonna be a good game. I do.
You know what I'm saying? So, but like naysayers gonna say, well, this ain't Nebraska. They got a rookie quarterback. I don't want to hear that crap, dude. So you gonna tell me when they lose? Brandon,
you ain't gonna hear it from me.
I think they're gonna lose to Michigan State. I'm sorry, Bloomington. I'm sorry, Bloomington. I think they're gonna go up there and lose to Michigan State.
I think you lose 2 games. Michigan. I think they lose Michigan.
Hallelujah.
And Ohio State.
They're not gonna get. They will either lose. Okay, Brandon. They would win in Michigan State and lose in Bloomington, or lose in Michigan State and beat Michigan. Because, so to your point, the SEC naysayers will be like, if they do beat Michigan, like, bro, Texas beat Michigan. You know what I'm saying? That kind of evens that a little bit of the argument would kind of even out if they beat Michigan. But you can't get don't start. They're good enough to beat Michigan State. They really are. But you already know things happen, you know what I'm saying? Over celebrating, home cooking, all those things. You know what I'm saying? Now there's enough tape on you to kind of see what you can and can't do. You know what I'm saying? I think that, you know what I'm saying? I think they should be. I really think they should be. I think this is a trap game for them. And that they take an L against Michigan State, everybody's gonna say we told you, and then they beat Michigan in Bloomington.
I'm not against it, but I just
they still be technically probably left out, because then everybody's gonna point through Northwestern and Maryland.
Yeah.
But then somehow
and Charlotte and Western Illinois, who hasn't won a game in 3 years, and FIU and UCLA. UCLA is a conference game, so I'm not going to bitch there, because you play who's on your schedule for the conference.
Right. And Ole Miss should have beat LSU. They didn't.
So, but it's just there's some the Indianapolis Star putting out there, Hoosiers got a shot for the national champion. Well, shit, they do, but it's probably like 1%. Let's be real. It's a great progress that the Hoosiers are making. Let's not put the cart before the horse with the Hoosiers, all right? Let's just be happy with what you got, where it's going. Signetti, now, I just watched another interview with him the other day. Boy, as smug as he is, I kind of like that for a coach, but you better not write too many checks that your ass can't cash. And I felt like he's kind of working his way that way a little bit.
He probably gonna get it. I don't think he's leaving anytime soon. I think he probably gets an extension.
Oh, you're changing you're changing your mind because last week I think you said you would not be surprised if he'd be leaving.
I think he gets an extension. With that smugness and that kind of cockiness, man, that kind of will help him recruiting. We know he's going to have to get better recruiting down in the Deep South. You know what I'm saying? Football is crazier down there than it is up here in the Midwest. There might be some Midwest guys that he can turn. Usually the Midwest guys that you know what I'm saying, to get, you know what I'm saying, scout or whatever, it's automatic straight line, beat line, Ohio State.
I heard Auburn would be interested in him or Florida.
You know, that money, I can see it. I can see either one of those two. But Brandon,
They're not happy down there.
I gotta ask you. I know I kind of just want to flip flop from conference to conference. I kind of want to ask you about. You had a prediction that it'd be Oregon's next year. I think they didn't stun Ohio State. Ohio State still got to play Penn State, and that should be if not a whiteout. I know they already had a whiteout game, but Penn State Penn State got to prove they got to beat Ohio State. But like now with that one loss on Ohio State, their backs up against the wall.
Yeah, Oregon had a hell of a game. You know, the idiot Will Howard doesn't know how to time and score for Ohio State there. So now we're sitting with the Ducks and Penn State. Do we really trust Penn State, man? I mean, like James Franklin, this team, we've seen them do this, and when they come play big games.
They came back against Penn State, USC.
They did. So there's one, but I need to see it against Ohio State's, the Michigans, that type in the world. Here's my other thing: we are in for a perfect storm. There is a scenario, and I don't know how they're going to do this. And I wanted to talk to Tanner about it, and also another one that I found a perfect storm for. We are in for a perfect storm that by the end of the conference season, there will be there could be 4/5 teams tied with the same record in the conference.
You mean in conference?
In conference. Because here's the thing, those teams don't play each other in the season, which is crazy with what happens when you get too many teams in a conference where you don't have them play and you don't have divisions.
Right.
I don't know what you talk about people being pissed about not making the playoff, not making the Big Ten championship to get yourself that shot to try to go in. If you're tied with 3 other teams, there is a perfect storm where these teams could all be tied. Penn State, Indiana, Oregon.
So where would all them commissioners, they gonna turn on one another then? Remember, there's that secret meeting.
100%. 100%.
They're going to turn on another because if IU, it's the same for shits and giggles. IU finished the season undefeated.
Let me give you another one that's crazy.
Right.
So what's great about the American Athletic Conference is that we've got our 2 military institutions, Army and Navy, both undefeated, right? First time in how long?
Yeah, Army's killing it.
Right, exactly. Army 5-0, or 6-0, Navy 5-0. John, the American Conference Championship game, it's on track right now for these 2 teams to play each other for the conference championship. That game is the week before the exhibition Army versus Navy. So they'd be playing twice. Now here's my thing. Army Navy play the week before for the conference championship. Army wins it. The next week in the exhibition, they play again and Navy wins it.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the format for these guys are playing for that 12 seed to get in the playoff. Which one would you take? Because they would have split.
They would have split the season, right?
That's where I feel like, John, there's a perfect storm for the AAC to have themselves in trouble too, where the conference championship is before the annual Army-Navy game.
I hope
they would play twice.
I hope it's as much controversy at the end of the season where teams feel left out, even though they had a quality 1-loss record. You look at Boise State. I'm just kind of picking them. I don't know if they take another loss or not, but they took a 1 loss. But they got a Heisman candidate in the running back in Ashton Jetty. They took 1 loss. I get it. It's a bad loss against. I think they lost to Oklahoma State. I think not Oregon State.
Yep.
Right. But you know what I'm saying, they're on pace, you know what I'm saying, to win their conference, man. And you know what I'm saying, they're probably gonna get left out because they got a bad loss. You know what I'm saying? But there's going to be other teams that kind of fall into this category.
Yeah. I saw you on Twitter the other night, and you talked about us about Iowa State making some noise. John, 6-0, currently 9th.
The Big 12, you know, the Big 12 is it's in flux. Right? That's all you can say. The Big 12 is in flux, man. Deion took prime in them, right? They took a bad loss. This against Kansas State. It's a game that if you want to be taken seriously on the national picture, that they had to win. They did. BYU, I almost kind of thought they were going to lose against Arizona just because they had so much fanfare kind of going on before the game. But no, they handled business, you know what I'm saying, against Arizona. The Big 12 is kind of it's kind of going to be a conference. They're going to eat one another, man. Arizona State is good, you know what I'm saying. BYU is good, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So Baylor can steal some wins, but like unfortunately, our homies down there in TCU, it's over. Unfortunately, for Prime to get back into any type of conversation, they can't take another loss at all. You know what I mean? Colorado can't take another loss at all. And who I'm forgetting, Utah, it's kind of Brandon. Unfortunately, it's over for them.
It's a wrap, dude. Cam Rising played horrible.
Well, he's done. He's done for the series, for the year.
He should be.
Yeah. So the Big 12's in flux, though. Will they get a team in? I think they get a team in. They won't get no 2 teams. You know what I mean? But they'll get a team in.
Like I said, if you look at your non-automatic qualifiers, you've got not BYU. You've got Boise State at 15 right now at 5-1. And then your next one up, John, is Army and then Navy. So that's what I'm saying. There is a perfect storm where how the hell then you decide the conference champion just then lost the very next week again in the Army Navy. So it's like, do you put him in? Do you not put him in? Or are they going to say, well, let's just hope Boise does something to keep us from this? Because we've never had Army Navy play twice in a season. And it's setting up for that picture there in the American Conference. So Texas, Oklahoma, John, Texas just beat down, complete beat down of the Sooners as kind of expected there. Quinn Ewers looking good. He'll be a Heisman guy. You also sent out a tweet that Diego Pavia is going to be on that Heisman stage, and
it should be.
You're finally a believer, huh? You knew who they played this week.
Man, I know they play Ball State, man. I think Ball State
take the money.
They're gonna cover. Ball State gonna cover, man, because Ball State can score. Ball State gonna be able. I don't think Ball State gonna stop Diego Pavia, man. He's one of these super transfers. Came from out of New Mexico State. If you kind of look at his analytics, man, he's not a guy that turns over the ball. That's kind of where Vanderbilt's in the position that they are. 10 touchdowns this season, 1 interception. He should definitely be after beating, you know what I'm saying, Alabama. And after, you know what I'm saying, again.
Yes, Justin, Navy does play Notre Dame, but do we have Notre Dame with that? I mean, Navy could beat them. It's possible.
Slow down, man. You bet. Listen, man. This is apologies. You got to apologize to the Irish.
I don't need them Irish. I said I apologize to Clemson. I
Well,
apologize to Notre Dame.
Some of my other friends, man, kind of razzed me about our list or whatever, man. Kind of said, man, you got Notre Dame in the top 10. I'm like, man, I get it, man. Northern Illinois, y'all don't respect the MAC, but Northern Illinois is probably going to win the MAC, and I get it, man. It's a bad look for Notre Dame to lose, but like Notre Dame since then has pounded people into the pavement. You know what I'm saying? So Notre Dame, you know what I'm saying, definitely top 10. Clemson. You know what I'm saying? I know.
I apologize, but don't let me down now.
Club Nick ain't gonna be able to next Mason Rudolph or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But on this level, man, they kind of you know what I'm saying, got the cobwebs shaking up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, shaking out. So I like Clemson. Any of these teams can kind of get hot, right, Brandon? I'm kind of shocked Ohio State lost that game, Brandon. I'm kind of shocked. I don't think more people kind of talking about it because it was an away game, and Oregon has always played Ohio State tough. But I'm kind of shocked they lost that game.
DCOS says stop being homers.
Who's being?
Yeah, exactly. Who's being a homer with what?
He better stop that. I mean, because we ain't talking about Alabama, and then barely beating South Carolina. Was Spencer Rattler at the game? Goodness gracious, was they scared?
I heard the Boers' house caught on fire. That was a rumor.
Who did? House caught on fire.
DeBoer, somebody was put threw a bag of dog shit up on his
Man,
porch.
this dude beats Georgia, and I get it, man. Like, I don't know what the hell happened. Like, but Vanderbilt's a good team, man. Like, you can't, like, you look at the tape, but I get it, man. You're not Alabama's supposed to roll. You supposed to roll. Legend said, we're supposed to never beat Vanderbilt. Never.
Why? What will it take for Notre Dame? Notre Dame shame love has to stop. I ain't giving Notre Dame any love. You talking about? I just talked about them possibly losing to Navy. Come on,
they're not losing.
Get real.
They're not losing that.
What's it going to take for Ohio State to fire Ryan Day?
It's going to happen.
I told you who the new coach is going to be.
Will they lose to Michigan? If he loses to Michigan this year.
If they lose to Michigan again. But if they lose to Michigan, win the national championship, you think that rights all the ships?
When I look at Ohio State, do they have enough to beat Texas? I don't think the way they played. No. Yeah. Oregon looks like they can keep up with Texas. Alabama.
Well, I'm nervous about Oregon's defense, though. Honestly, I'm sorry. I know we saw against Ohio State, but I think Texas's offense would overpower the Ducks. And this is a guy that I have a lot of love for Oregon, and I said they'd be there next year.
Yeah,
and
they on time. Just because the California teams haven't transitioned very well with this Big Ten at all.
Yeah. All right, let's go through our picks. We'll get Tanner's picks a little bit later on.
I told you, I'm on Ball State. They're going to cover.
I know. That's the second game. So we're both taking Ball State. We'll get that one out of the way. Ball State plus 25.5. First game up is Friday night, number 2, Oregon, minus 27.5 at Purdue. The last 3 times a number 2 team has came into Purdue on a night game, the Boilers have upset them. Is this where you get that upset, John? They looked better last week against Illinois. There was too much time on the clock. I love the announcer that called the game, though. He was like Gus Johnson-esque. But Hudson Card, I don't know if he's playing yet, but I don't know if it'll matter. Your thoughts? Who do you like in this one?
I hope. I don't think Memphis plays this weekend, man. Maybe Big Edie gets down there, man. They get him, you know what I'm saying? Brandon Brantley and them, you know what I'm saying? Coach. Maybe they can slide Crossroads Sports some credentials real quick. You know, we can take a little jaunt down to West Lafayette. Well, if you can get off, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, but like, nah, man.
It's Friday.
That's damn, it's Friday. Well, shucks. We had to get Wookie Fever. We had to call in. Can't do that. Anyway, that's another dream for another time. Listen, I'm going with Purdue, bro, to cover.
I'm going to take Oregon.
Good for you.
I think where they had from last week. I mean, listen, this is also the most perfect letdown spot not to cover. It's screaming not to cover this after the big game they had against Ohio State this week. To go in, hey, survive with a 17-point win against Purdue. Purdue gives it a valiant effort for 3 quarters. Fuck it. Give me Purdue plus the 27.5 as well. I just talked myself into it.
There you go.
Just talked myself into it. They're just going to play lackluster, win by 20, win by 17. Purdue puts up a good fight for 3 quarters and keeps it within like a 10-point game. And then Dylan Gabriel does Dylan Gabriel things. James, the running back, does his thing. Yeah, I can see it.
The kids get that goalpost tonight. On Friday. They get that goalpost.
They're going to take it down to Harry's Chocolate Shop. I am off Friday. Maybe.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if it's too late to get creds. We go down there on a Friday night. I was at the last time Purdue beat a number 2 team. I was on the field. It was Ohio State. I was down there. R.I.P. Dwayne Haskins as well. He was a quarterback at the time. Oklahoma State at BYU. BYU 9.5-point favorites at home.
You know, this would be that kooky little game. BYU loses. But they really look too strong, too dominant. I'm gonna take BYU.
I'm gonna take BYU too. I think they cover at home. Oklahoma State's been a big disappointment for me this year. I had them actually predicted to win. I think win Big 12. I don't know. I gotta look at my bracket real quick. Yeah. I still have it on my Twitter as my pinned tweet. Yeah, I have. Who the hell did I have? No, I had Utah. So that's even worse.
Well, we had a top. I thought we did a top 3 as well. And
Yeah.
Big 12 should have been Oklahoma State. I know I had Kansas. They fell by the wayside too.
Yep. Nebraska at number 18, Indiana. Hoosiers 6.5-point favorites. It's dropped. It was 7.5, 7. Now it's down to 6.5.
Stop it. Google me. No, man, I think the Hoosiers going to get tested defensively. I think Matt Rule's going to come up with a very great scheme, probably negate the running game first and see if this quarterback can win some games for the Hoosiers. He hasn't necessarily been tested. Last game, Rourke played. Did he put it on the carpet one time? I'm a 2 times. I'm like Stone Cold 3 times. Did he put it on the carpet?
What?
You know what I'm saying? Did Rourke put it up? You know what I'm saying? So something uncharacteristic of the particular quarterback, even coming from Ohio, transferring over to Indiana, is that not to turn the ball over. So if they can keep the interceptions down, and like I said, he had a couple fumbles last game, very uncharacteristic. If they can keep that down, man, I like the Hoosiers' chances, and I like the Hoosiers' chances. Like, man, they rolled it. They put up 30 points on pretty much everybody, man. So I like them to score a lot of points in this game.
Look who they've played. I'm going to take Nebraska plus the 6.5.
Stop it. You don't believe in it.
I think it's a close game. I do. Indiana hasn't had a close game yet. I think this is one. They could win it, but I think Nebraska keeps it definitely close, and they test the Hoosiers. This will kind of be, like I said, their first test. So I'll take Nebraska plus the 6.5. I wish it was still 7 or 7.5 it was earlier this week, but we'll take the 6.5. Number 6, Miami, minus 4.5 at Louisville. I'm going to take Jeff Braun in Louisville. Braun gets one upset every year. I think it's this one. Miami has tried to lose twice this year already, and they haven't. This spells it completely. Give me Louisville plus the 4.5.
Man, Brandon, we must be reading my mind, man. I ain't strong on Miami. I'm not saying they're going to totally fold. But as we know, a one-loss team can still get proper position in the playoff game. I know everybody's still gonna say the SEC stinks and all that other crap. But like, nah, man, I kind of like Louisville to still win here for sure.
Yeah. By the way, just so everybody knows, I'm not ducking it. I had a bad week last week.
Oh my God.
I had a bad week.
Man, it was. Oh man. I
think I was 1-10. It was bad.
I thought it was 1-7. So it was 1.
No, it was 1-10. It was bad. I lost a double up game. Thank you, Alabama.
Me and Terry, I think I was 5-5. Terry about this.
Overall, I'm 39-36. And Tanner's trying to.
I see.
No blog talk. Tech issues. Facebook Live only. I'm 36 and what the hell is my record? 39, 36-2. Only 3 games above 500 now after that abysmal 1-11 or 1-10. John's 45-28, John, for you, and then 38-37 for Tanner.
What game kind of killed you last week that shocked you?
That I picked?
Yeah, that you picked. That was bad.
Give me a second.
I can't remember who I was disappointed. Somebody won, but they didn't cover.
You disappointed everybody. Oh, there's plenty for me. Give me a second here. I'll bring up. That one's not it.
Was it Alabama? That DK hopefully is wild. Was it Alabama and South Carolina?
That was one of them. I mean, that was my double up game.
Yeah, and my double up game.
Oh, here you go. So that one pissed me off. Penn State winning but not covering. Didn't win that one. Ball State, John. Ball State was number 1 on ESPN. Scott Van Pelt's bad beats.
Yeah.
The way that game ended, John, we should have all won this bet. Should have won this bet. Should have been a big winner. That one, Tennessee didn't cover against Florida.
Nope.
You're going to overtime at home against them. Wild. Ole Miss going to overtime against LSU, not covering. That's another one that hurt me. And then I had Ohio State winning, but they didn't cover. Since they won by like 1 or 2, whatever it was, they didn't cover. And then Kansas State won. I had Kansas State, but it was like 3 or 4. It was like 3.5 or 3 points, and I had it at 4. and then Alabama. So I only missed barely on some of these. I was just on the wrong end, just barely on all these freaking picks last week. It's crazy. So it's more than just one. I mean, I was a half a point here, but the Ball State game being number one on bad beats. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
everybody's probably got.
Did you see the video I sent to you guys about it?
Yeah, the homie Justin texted me.
Oh,
He took Ball
talking
State.
right now. It killed his parlay. Much love, Justin, because that.
What if Ball State goes down there and spoils them? I hope they
can't. If they can't stop Central Michigan, how are they going to stop Diego Pavia?
Man, you never know, man. I took Ball State just to cover, but I'm hoping they spoil them.
I took Ball State too, but we'll see. Number 11, Notre Dame, -12 at Georgia Tech. This isn't Rudy's game either.
Yeah, and Georgia Tech ain't even playing on campus, man. They playing in the dome, man. This damn near like a home game for Notre Dame, man. Notre Dame.
I've taken the Irish too. I think they cover this one. Number 7, Alabama, -3 at Tennessee.
Hey, man. Hey, man, I was rolling with
both teams are playing like shit.
2 games ago, man. Like when they had put a 30-point. Was that the first half against Georgia?
Yep.
Something ridiculous. I was like, Tennessee, you ain't got a shot. Now I got to go with Alabama still, though, man. On the road, Tennessee hasn't looked like, you know what I'm saying, they could put up 14 points, much less, 30. You know what I mean? I'm taking Alabama.
Yeah. You're taking Alabama. I want to take
Peyton Manning walk through the door.
Alabama. I want to take Tennessee because maybe Tennessee will play a little bit better. But Bama screwed me last week.
It did.
Tennessee screwed me even worse.
The Boer.
I'm going to take Alabama -3, and I don't like it, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. Number 24, Michigan, -3 at Illinois. John.
He can't, man. Michigan can't lose this game and stay relevant for this year. Illinois is pretty good, man. That'd be a good road victory for them, man. Give me Michigan.
I'm taking Michigan as well on that one. Michigan -3. Illinois played like shit against Purdue. I think Michigan will come in and play well in that game. Colorado at Arizona. Arizona 3.5-point favorites. I like Arizona -3.5. Prime. It's a done deal out there, man.
Kind of done, man. Take it. Give me Arizona.
Number 13, LSU -3 at Arkansas. Give me Arkansas to win outright.
No, man, y'all kind of, you and Tanner kind of owe Brian Kelly and an apology too.
That was a good one. I like that.
Y'all kind of owe Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly.
When he goes down south of Kentucky, somehow he gets daggone a southern accent. I don't know if that makes him a hillbilly.
I do declare.
That don't make him a hillbilly because he ain't southern enough. And that don't make him a redneck because, you know what I'm saying, he ain't, again, southern enough. So I guess he's somewhere to an Indiana Hill J. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out sometime later, man. But, nah, man, LSU, give me LSU on the road, man. They take care of business.
Okay. The big one, 7:30 on ABC or ESPN. I'm not sure which one it's on. Number 5, Georgia at number 1, Texas. Texas -3.5. I love these conferences because we're getting great games now every week. Man, Texas -3.5, John, against Georgia.
Sometimes, man, when I be seeing ears out there and he you know what I'm saying, he has to throw it away or throws the interception, I'm like, man, they need to have Little Manning in there already, man. It's the writing's on the wall, man. Little Manning is the better quarterback. Ewers is the proper leader of the team. He's a more seasoned quarterback. I get that, man. But, man, Little Manning out there could you imagine him sizzling up Kirby Smart, chopping that up already as a freshman?
He might get out there.
Oh, my God. The Colts would tank for the rest of the next 2 seasons. Man, Anthony Richardson, roll him out there. Shoot, we got to get Little Manning. What the hell are you talking about?
Right.
This is a big time game. If Hookem can get it done, Hookem got more offensive firepower than Georgia right now. I know, and I know the kid right now he's eating it up though. From a person, the quarterback from Georgia, he's eating it up from a personal standpoint. But I think they got too much in Texas right now. Sarkisian gets it done. Give me Texas. I know it's crazy.
I'm going to take Georgia plus 3.5. I don't.
Statement. Is he gonna make a statement?
He needs to, right?
Kirby Smart gonna make a statement.
Yeah, he needs to.
He look good against Kentucky.
I don't like these two teams playing right now. Maybe in a couple weeks.
Man, it's not even cool, man. It's not even cool.
I'll take Georgia plus the 3.5.
Okay.
Tanner's going to send his picks in later tonight. I'll upload those. We'll put them out on Facebook and everything there. John, I've got a gift for you. I got to see you soon because I ordered something and they gave me 2 of them. But it's the Blue Ribbon College Basketball Yearbook for, God, I can't even show it, for 2024.
Okay.
This is terrible. I can't even show the damn thing. But they gave me 2 of these things, man. I'm already breaking down college ball for the year. And can't wait what to expect with that.
Brandon breaking down college ball. I'm already looking at draft picks for 2025. I'm already looking at I've absorbed. I know we kind of run short for time. I've absorbed a lot of preseason, right at whether it's been the Pacers or you know what I'm saying, some surrounding teams. Man, I don't know how in the hell Washington is going. You can't have Cooper. You can't be in play for Cooper Flag and still be having clown show on your team, man. So Washington, you can consider Washington if Washington Wizards coming to your town. Your team probably, you know what I'm saying, got an upper chance of winning.
Are the Washington Wizards or the Washington Nationals?
Washington Wizards.
Or the Generals.
Yeah, they're terrible. They're about as bad as the Generals, man. You know what I'm saying? They got some decent pieces if they were elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? What would that look like? But they also got some hefty contracts that they gotta kind of figure out.
Let me ask you this. I got 2 questions for you, NBA wise. One, how impressed are you with Zach Edey, 23-9 against the Pacers the other night?
For them people to say, you know what I'm saying, it's you. That's why he went back to school, man, because folks said he couldn't play or his style of play wouldn't be translated to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? D-Cot then kind of went silent. Kind of went silent, man, because they kind of just saw Zach Edey as a statue. They kind of saw him as Sean Bradley-esque, man. You know what I'm saying? Something that wasn't going to translate, man. Zach Edey, they gave him the ball in a one-on-one isolation situation. He got three dribbles in the paint, and they didn't bring no help. And if you don't bring no help on somebody who's 7 foot plus and that strong and that talented,
did it against the Bulls too.
Touch, right? He's gonna score. He definitely got the lob for sure. You know, once it gets to like he has to play the Wemby-Giannis and the Giannis's, you know what I'm saying, a little bit more mobile centers. We you know what I'm saying, we're gonna see a little different. You know what I'm saying, but like nah, man, he's on odds because he is offensively. You can go to him. And defensively, you know, he's going to be there. Like, he's going to get time. He's going to get playing time. So he's on odds, probably top 5. No, not even top 5. Top 3 right now for Rookie of the Year. Top 3 right now just because he's going to get playing time.
Pacers, season starts next Wednesday, I think it is, against Detroit. In Detroit, Pacers over-under win totals. We did this last year with DK, and we were all over what we thought it would be, which is great. DraftKings has it right now, John, at 46.5.
Brandon, I think that they like what I've liked what I've seen out of Mathurin, Jarris Walker. They're like them shots that he's getting right now in preseason. Probably not going to get those, a whole lot of those, but they want him to be a scorer. When you look at like that, Pacers, you got 7 guys potentially. Not even potentially, for real, that should be in double figures night after night, man. Pacers are going to be pushing pace. Every team's going to be pushing pace, right? You know what I'm saying? The Pacers still going to struggle on defense. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Just because, you know what I'm saying, they have so many people they switching it out, I think. But like, no, man, you asked me for a game, 47 or higher, 47.
Well, seeding has them over 6.5 in the seeding is plus 120, under 6.5 is minus 145. So Vegas kind of has them as a 6 seed for it. So we'll see there. Paul George had a little knee injury, John. It looks like it's just a bone bruise, no structural damage.
Yeah.
Sixers got away with that one.
Yeah, I'm not rooting against Paul George. You know what I'm saying? That team's gonna have a hard enough time with Joel Embiid talking about he ain't playing back to backs already. But it's weird, man. Like the ownership has clearly said like this is a championship team, right? Which with commitment to Paul George and who they removed. You know what I'm saying?
What about the more physical play? I love it. I said it last week or 2 weeks on the show to John that they're going more to a FIBA style ball this year. I love the physical play and to make it kind of match it.
Yeah.
We're getting rid of the ticky-tacky, stupid-ass fouls that they're calling.
Yeah, there's still a lot of old late defense going on, but like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? This is still just a couple games in the preseason. I kind of think who has kind of like jumped off my page. Your guy Reed Shepard has kind of, you know what I'm saying,
Rookie of the year.
Lit up some. I don't know about that, Brand. Lit up some. He got to play behind.
He's gonna win Rookie of the Year. You watch.
Well, he's got to play behind a vet. You know what I'm saying? In what's our guy? Used to play for Toronto. They got a lot of guards down there, man. So I don't know. And he got Jalen Green playing in front of him too, man. So I don't know, but he has turned some heads for sure with his playing time. Zach Edey for Darshore, Reed Shepard. Boston shot the lights out. Man, they shot 55. They only hit 13, but they shot 55 freaking threes last night. 55 threes. So they kind of still in attack mode, man. You know, there's some decent teams out here, but like it's still I still think everything kind of runs through Boston.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. ALCS, NLCS. We got game 3 right now. Mets and Dodgers going on. Split. Interesting there. Yankees up 2-0 and against the Guardians. Game 3. They do the old 2-3-2. So the Mets here, if they can win all 3 games at home, it's a wrap. But I don't know. I love postseason baseball. We've got it going on here. It's 0-0 game. Guy on second and third with 2 outs right now for the Dodgers, so trying to strike. So we've got that. Last thing I have, I think that's about it. I'm frustrated we didn't have much with the show tonight on the thing. I wanted to have the audio. I wanted to have our special guest on, but we've got another way to do it this way. We couldn't get her on here because of them doing their work. So, but Tanner will send in his pics. We'll put it on the Facebook. We'll put it on the Twitter. I got to have a better week. That was piss poor last week. I added it up on Sunday and I said, damn, because I knew Saturday, I was like, all right, I missed by half here. I missed by a point here. I missed by this. They won, but they didn't cover. I'm like, this isn't going to add up right. And I added it up and yeah, it looked like trash. So what can I say? It happens. Tanner's had his bad one. I've had my bad one. There's only one last person needs to have a bad week.
Man, I had a bad season. You know what I'm saying? Ball State don't let me down this weekend.
Perfect. Anything else, John, before we go?
Nah, man. Thanks everybody for chiming in, man. We'll see you next week.
We'll be what would you say? We'll be back bigger, better than ever than next week. Hey, by the way, man, Halloween coming up. I just the other night finally watched the Terror Rising or the Terror movie.
Oh yeah, I heard it's pretty good.
I've watched 1 and 2 just the other night. I've never seen it before. I just watched 1 and 2, so I need to go see number 3. I heard people have walked out on it, man. How gory it is.
Oh my god.
What would you? Let me ask you this, because my wife has asked me. It's a horror movie, but I told her it's more like a B-rated movie, right? Is that what you would call it, like a B-rated? Because there's comedy in it, and
and they make sure it's kind of like low, but you know what I'm saying, we got a low budget feel to it.
Yeah, so low budget B-rated movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
But gore, not my cup of tea. I like scary movies, but not gore now.
Gotcha. I'm trying to buy a Chucky doll, by the way, to send to my sister. 100-some bones right now over at Spirit Halloween. I can't pull the trigger yet on that.
Oh my goodness. I'll keep an eye out.
Appreciate it. So, all right, guys, we'll see y'all next week. Conversation continues on Facebook, on Twitter. We'll see y'all then. Have a great